the ED of Rural Community Development, but also the RUCCID Organic Training Institute. RUCCID Organic Training Institute is located in Chigogozi LC1, which is in Busimbi Division in Muntiana Municipality and Muntiana District. That's where we operate.
So what activities do you carry out here? What is you doing?
RUCCID is an organization which has different sectors. One of them is the outreach program, whereby we teach farmers about organic farming, because our core business is organic farming. But also we have a vocational training institute, which is called RUCCID Vocational Training Institute, a registered vocational institute, whereby we train people in organic farming, animal production, crop production, and input production, organic input production. But we also have outreach programs whereby we go outside and train farmers in different skills. So we are engaged in training farmers, but also we do a lot of innovations as far as agro-processing is concerned. We do process a lot of products. We make juices, we make tropical wines, we dry fruits, and so many other agro-based processing is carried out here.
Okay. You talked about organic farming. What is organic farming?
Organic farming is a farming system whereby, for me, I define it in a way that organic farming is a farming system whereby organs of the farm are organized to form a living organism. What do I mean? I mean the farm has organs like the soil, the plants, the crops, and the human being, the stores. Those organs must be organized. When they are organized, then they become a system, so they can work together, and when they are working together, then they are able to produce foods, but the food which is produced is a healthy food without contamination, but also looking at the environment. They protect the environment, they also protect and preserve natural cycles and systems.
Yes, but how is organic farming so important?
Organic farming is very, very important, because when you are looking at organic farming, it looks at, it has basically 5 principles. The principles of care, which means we have to care. It cares for the crops, it cares for the universe, it cares for the animals. Then there is the principle of ecology. We are looking at having our ecological systems respected, so that we think that everything which is in the ecology is very, very important. Then there's a principle of fairness, whereby we have to, whatever we do, we must be fair, not only to the people, but also we must be fair to the animals. For example, when you keep the animal very, very confined, it loses its natural behavior. But also, it looks also the principle of income, whereby people must be able to have their income. We are looking at the income, we are looking at the principle of health. Those are very, very key aspects of organic farming, and therefore I see it's very, very important. For example, here in Uganda, I would say the principle of income, the income generating principle is very, very important, because in Uganda you find we are producing a lot of good organic produce, but they cannot access an external market. Once we actually make our products organic and they are certified, then it means we are going to have a lot of market outside. The market for organic is actually rising year and year. Not only that, but also if we start in organics, we make our own biofertilizers. And when we make our own biofertilizers, it means we are going to save on the foreign currency, which will be using in buying inputs like pesticide, like fertilizers, like all the fertilizers we are able to make them ourselves, all the inputs we can be able to make. And this makes our country to actually save on the foreign exchange. Instead of buying, we manufacture, but also when we manufacture, we sell out there. So I think it's very, very important in the case of Uganda, but also worldwide.
Many farmers still prefer chemical fertilizers.
When you look at Uganda, you see, though people talk about chemical fertilizers, many people use only herbicides. Only herbicides. And yet in agriculture, we don't need only herbicides. So you find the majority of our farmers today use herbicides, which are very, very dangerous in terms of actually the toxicity. They are toxic. Therefore, if people are not very useful, what I mean, they are very careful, there are chances of poisoning themselves. So you find, as far as the chemicals the people are using only herbicides. But when you look at the soil, need to be fertilized. The crop needs to be fed. But you find many people don't do that. So you find, as far as herbicides are concerned, people are using a lot of herbicides. But as far as soil health and crop protection, what have you, I think they are using very less. That's why we are saying, if you use organic fertilizers, we can even train people to make these fertilizers by themselves. And if they are able to make these fertilizers by themselves, it means the usage of fertilizers, the usage of other agro-based inputs will become high, and therefore we find we are going to have high productivity.
Why should they consider organic fertilizers instead of chemical fertilizers?
Yes. Not being very, very harsh. First of all, chemical fertilizers, people have to buy them. They don't come from within ourselves. We don't manufacture them. Therefore, if we get a problem outside where fertilizers come, then it means people are not going to use it. Secondly, this chemical fertilizer, it's chemical. It's as if we are feeding plants chemical. It's just giving it a salt. So these ones, once you use them, very little. It has been proved that when you use your chemical fertilizers, you only utilize 5% of the benefit of the fertilizer, because much of it leaches. But maybe the last one is chemical fertilizers kill all the microorganisms which are in the soil. And these microorganisms which are in the soil are key in improving soil fertility. That's why we say it is better that we use those chemical fertilizers which will boost the microorganisms instead of using fertilizers which are going to kill the microorganisms, and once the microorganisms die, then it means the soil fertility will go down or will diminish. This has been proved in many countries whereby they are using chemical fertilizers and the soil life is no longer active.
Is it true that organic fertilizers work slower than chemical ones? If yes, is it that a disadvantage?
I would say people believe that they work slower, but it's not right, because it depends on how you make these biofertilizers. For example, if you ferment the organic matter, it means the ingredients within the organic matter will be opened. You see, fermentation means breaking the complex molecules into simpler molecules. So if you ferment using the right fermentation process, the organic fertilizers are so fast the plant can take them very, very easily, and at the same time they are not actually harming the environment, they are not harming the soil microbial activity.
Okay. Can a farmer rely on organic fertilizers for high yields, especially in commercial farming?
Yes, I think we have proved it here. I think maybe people, if they came there, they can see organic farming can and is able to improve productivity. Because as I said, soil soil fertility depends on how active the soil microorganisms are. Therefore, when you make your biofertilizers in the right way, then you are able to say, okay, I want a fertilizer which is going to be feeding the plant. I want a fertilizer which is going to be feeding the soil. So it is possible, looking at the new development, now we have biofertilizers or organic fertilizers which actually are taken by the plant direct when you spray. That's why, for example, when we are spraying on the biofertilizer, the liquid biofertilizers, we spray at the bottom of the plant, at the bottom of the leaf, because we know the leaf, the lower part of the leaf is the one which has stomata, the mouth, and we spray in the morning and the evening, so that when we are spraying, the mouth of the plant is actually open, and therefore the fertilizer will go direct. So yes, organic fertilizers can boost productivity depending on how you make it. When you ferment it, then it will be that. But also you can ferment it so that it works slow. For example, when we are using bokashi, the bokashi is one of the fertilizers whereby we put charcoal. Charcoal is a slow decomposing organic matter. So when you want it to go slow, then we make it slow. When we want to make it fast, we make it fast.
The process for making organic fertilizers?
There are different processes. But I'll give you one. I'll give you the liquid biofertilizer. Now the liquid biofertilizer, which is going to be taken by the plant very, very quickly, you have to get the ingredients. What ingredients do we need? We need manure. We need fresh manure. I'm going to talk about, if we are to start with a unit of 20 liters, we want to make 20 liters of liquid fertilizer. With 20 liters of liquid fertilizer, I need 1 kilogram of fresh manure. I need 250 grams of wood ash. I need 250 grams of rock dust. That's the dust which comes from the rocks. Then I need half a liter of milk. I need 5 grams of baker's yeast. Then I need some I think half a kilo of topsoil. Now those ones, I put them in 20 liters and mix. Then in there, I add 1 cup, that is half a liter of molasses. Then I mix it thoroughly. I put it in a 20-liter jerry can, and I add water into that up to when it comes to 20 liter. When it is 20 liter, I put an airtight lid with an airlock. What does it mean? You put there an airlock so that air can come out, but it cannot go in. And I keep that one for 1 month. That liquid biofertilizer is very, very effective, because if you're going to use it, you use 3%. For example, in 100, if you are to use that content in 1 liter, in 20 liters, you put 300 mils. In 20 liters, you put 300 mils, and you spray on the crop in the morning and the evening on the leaf. But remember, because we put manure there, there are also microorganisms. So when it's fermenting, the microorganisms are breaking down the nutrients. And those nutrients, when you are spraying, they go direct into the plant. So that is one simple liquid biofertilizer which I can say how to make it.
Okay.